for Digital Digest. I'm Will. Today we're at the Waterloo Farm in Waterloo, and the Waterloo Area Historical Society has graciously hosted us here. Let's continue the conversation we've been having about the U.S. ration and what to do with it. Today let's talk about rice. We're going to go to one of the recipe books or one of the soldiers' manuals that we've used before. We're going to go to the Military Handbook and Soldiers' Manual. Of course, they put recipes in here from Alexis Soyer, who was known from the Crimean War. And we're going to go ahead today and make cheap plain rice pudding for campaigning. Well, there's really two steps for this, and we're going to end up with the potential of three things. First, we're going to make the rice. Then, if we choose, we'll continue to make the pudding and keep it going. If we don't, we're going to end with two things. We can stop short and make just rice and end up with rice water, which was very common in the 19th century to be drank for health, and it was seen also in the hospitals. We started with 12 pints of water in a pot, and we've started that and gotten to it full boil. Now, we're going to take a pound of rice and add it to it. In addition, we're going to add 4 tablespoons of brown sugar, a teaspoon of salt, and the zest of 1 lemon. Okay, we're in the field. I don't have a grater. This isn't all zested up pretty like you might have in a modern kitchen. We got a lemon from the sutler, cut it up, and chopped the rind up real fine. That's what we're going to put in. So, to review, a pound of rice, 4 tablespoons full of brown sugar, a teaspoon of salt, and the zest of a lemon. Okay, so we'll give that a stir. Now, Soyer tells us to keep this on a gentle boil for half an hour. We're going to watch it. We're going to manage the fire. We may raise it up or raise it down. We want to keep this boiling, but only gently for the next half an hour. It's not something you need to hang out and watch. We'll be back after that time. See you in a little bit. Well, it's been a half an hour, and we're back. We've just pulled the rice off the fire. We've watched it for the half an hour. This is not something you just set and walk away and go talk with some of your pards. I've had rice burned to the bottom of containers before. The burned really doesn't taste good. So we stirred it as it went. I wanted to keep a light boil, so I was adjusting the height or the distance from the fire to keep the boil going, and then stirred it pretty regularly. Now it's time to make the pudding. This is a second step, and Soyer gives us 2 choices. One is to bake it, and that would be we'd strain the rice water off at this point and keep it to drink when it cools. Okay, I don't have any form of a Dutch oven. I don't have a bake oven built here. I don't have a way to bake it. Let's look at Soyer's other option. He said that you put the extra ingredients for the pudding in and then boil it 15 minutes more, and it'll make a really nice pudding. So we can boil, we have a fire. Let's go that way. We need to add 3 more things to this. We need to add 3 ounces more sugar, 4 tablespoons full of flour, and about a half a teaspoon of pounded cinnamon. So, 3 ounces more sugar, 4 tablespoons full of flour, and then the half a teaspoon of pounded cinnamon, and a little bit of smoke in my eyes. We'll stir this up. I really don't want the flour getting chunky. I want it to mix in, especially, I don't want it to be dumplings. I want it to be part of the pudding. So we'll get this stirred, we'll get it back on the fire, and I'll keep stirring once I'm there. We'll get it boiling again. We'll do another 15 minutes, and we'll come back and see what it's like when we strain off the rice water and find what we've got left. See you in a few minutes. Okay, well, we lacked the ability to bake, so we boiled 15 minutes longer, as Soyer suggests, after putting the flour, the additional rice, and the pounded cinnamon in. I can tell you this, we have no rice water to drain off anymore here between the flour and the rice expanding more. This is a little bit watery, but definitely is a solid pudding. It came out in interesting color. Since we're using a sheet steel mess pan, we got somewhere between a purple and a black in shape here, but man, it's heavy. Well, let's see how it did. The color's dark, and I didn't expect that. Okay, I guess it goes to show that if you have a pound of rice and you put a quarter to 3/8 of a pound of sugar in it, it's going to be sweet. The zest of lemon really makes a difference. This is a nice sweet pudding and a good thing. This will be a nice filler to go next to the rest of the meal. So try this one. It's another good way to connect with what the Civil War soldier might have gone through food, whether it's in a living history environment, whether it's something you do for school as a presentation for a classroom, or whether just as a history buff you want to try something. I hope you find this as a way to find another connection to the men who lived back then. For the Civil War Digital Digest, I'm Will. Thanks for spending your time with us. If you liked the episode, make the rice, click like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.